You are listening to the very first episode of In Search. I like saying that in a deep voice. I've always wanted to do that. Welcome to In Search, where we make SEO small talk. This is a bit of more of a lighter take on SEO talk. This is definitely not. And today we'll be discussing why your backlink profile is vital to SEO. Not that there's anything wrong with that. It's just not me. It's not us. It's kind of boring. But I guess you're kind of boring.
Me? Boring? Well, that's a first.
Oh, okay. Well, we should probably introduce ourselves because otherwise it's a bit awkward. I'm Morty Oberstein. I'm joined by the very talented Jacqueline Harcum, and we've got a great show for you. I know I have to say that, but I do mean it as well. So we've got some news from around the SEO industry. We'll take a look at a really awesome piece of content that I thought was superbly fascinating, and get into something that really annoys me about the SEO industry. And we have a bit of fun and throw a curveball. Rank Ranger's own founder, Shai Harrell, and we'll watch him squirm as he works his way out of a pickle. So sit back, relax, have a beer. Or if you're driving or working, have a cup of coffee. If you're from England, I guess have a cup of tea. And let's get into it. Oh, first, wait. I have to have manners. How are you? How's it going?
Great. Doing great. And
That's
you?
good. I'm good. My eyes all messed up. I strained it by looking at too many screens. So, it's good that we're not video recording this because my eye looks like somebody hit me.
Yeah, he's doing us a favor.
I know. Well, in general, I guess. I shouldn't put myself down like that. Okay, let's get into it with the news. Hit it, Jacqueline. What do you have for us today with the news?
Well, in short, Google placed a booking button inside the local pack, so you no longer need to view the actual business listing to see the booking option. Woohoo!
Yeah, so you kind of knew that was coming. I mean, previously, so it was only in the actual business panel that showed up once you clicked into the local panel. It definitely makes sense. There's a lot more partners or software programs you can partner up with to have the reserve with Google My Business listing show up, or the option show up within your listing. So it kind of makes sense that Google's taking this out of the listing universe and just put it right on the local pack for you. So that's pretty. I guess it's pretty neat. My only question is how long until Google wants their share? And I know I'm like obviously being like negative, skeptical person, but you know that, right? You know Google's gonna, or you don't know, but I wonder if Google's gonna do something like that, like they've done with Google Flights, right?
Yeah.
But so with Google Flights, the airline gets, they have to pay Google a piece of the pie, right?
Yeah.
So how long till a business has to sort of give Google a bit of the dinero?
That's a good question.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, it is a little bit different because Delta Airlines is, mammoth. Is Google going to charge, mom and pop shoe store?
Oh, right.
Well, I guess we're gonna book an appointment to a shoe store, but I guess it's a salon.
Uh-huh.
Right? I don't know. All right.
Well, moving right along, when we saw that when the sites moved over to mobile first index, the cached version from the page from the SERPs would show up with a 404.
Right.
Well, Google finally fixed it. And now when you hit the cached version of the page, you get the actual cached version.
Well, that's nice.
Yeah, I thought that, it was about time that Google fixed that.
Right, because we're all looking at the cache page. So
Yeah.
sometimes we do. That's true.
Yeah, but who actually really looks
Oh,
at it?
sometimes some people do for, their SEO purposes.
Yeah. For
Okay. Number 3.
Oh.
There's something that can't get your throat.
Sorry about that. I was like waiting for you to like cue me.
No,
Okay.
that's all I have to say. It's like she's wondering, like, why is that all you had to say about that?
Come on, Morty.
I talk, but like, come on, I can't talk about everything.
Okay, fine. Well, next up, we all know that Google can issue a penalty or manual action directed to rich snippets, but now Google is telling us that other penalties and manual actions that have nothing to do with rich snippets will or may result in your site losing rich snippets.
Right, so that may, okay, so first off, you have to wonder if a site's hit by a penalty, is anyone really going to see the site on the SERP anyway?
Oh, that's true.
Right, okay, but fine, but like rich result or not, it does make a good deal of sense that why would Google give you an incentive to click on that site if it has, let's say, like a manual action based on the link practices? Like, why would Google want to give you a reason to click on that site? So it does make sense. Cool.
Okay, moving right along. Google added a way to access user activity settings right from the SERP on both mobile and desktop. What do you have to say about that?
Well, I say about that, I guess kind of cool. Like, I mean, like personally, I don't think anyone will even notice. Like
Right.
you're every day. Okay, so we all notice because we're in the SEO industry and we're all these keeping up and every little change that Google's doing. But your everyday user, Uncle Harry. Okay, I don't have an Uncle Harry, but if I did, he would not notice that the privacy settings or the activity settings rather are up there in the hamburger menu on his phone. I don't even think he would use his phone if I had an Uncle Harry. But okay, fine.
Search Console has been sending messages that your web pages are slow, which in my opinion is not like Google to do.
Yeah, that's just interesting. I would not have expected Google to do something like that, but hey, that's good,
Yeah,
right?
it's a nice gesture.
Yeah, that's very
on their
nice.
part.
Mm-hmm.
Google Lens has been integrated into image search on mobile, which means that you can click on an item in a picture and get information on that item within the picture.
Right. So this is part of the image search updates that Google announced at their 20th birthday bash from a couple of weeks ago. Remember?
Yeah.
So I guess wishes do come true. That's a solid line. There are a few lines that I wrote out to make sure I said during the
Good one,
podcast.
good
That
one,
was good,
good one,
right?
yes.
Okay.
Search Engine Land did a survey recently and found that 80% of advertisers want to spend more on Amazon advertisement. They also found that people are moving from spending on search advertising and are spending on Amazon advertisement.
Yeah, so there's been a lot of talk about Amazon versus Google for a while within the industry, and some industry heavyweights taking both sides of the argument. Like some saying Amazon is a credible threat to Google, others saying that no, Google is still too big. It's a drop in the bucket. I'm not gonna get into the nitty gritty here. I'm not gonna definitively go one way or the other. But to me, this is sort of like a political election, right? So when it comes to a political election, I have a rule. I always judge them by momentum. Which maybe it's not the most scientific way to do this, but you can tell where there's momentum, where there's energy.
Yeah.
And whether or not in a given election or a given political party, like which party is the future. I'm not getting into any politics here. That's the last thing I want to do. But you can definitely tell there's a certain momentum there that's going on.
Definitely.
Right? So here I'm going to say that there is momentum with Amazon. The momentum is swinging towards Amazon. And I'm not saying it's the end of Google. Like, no way. But Rome wasn't built in a day, and it won't fall in a day either. And in this case, I don't mean cataclysmically fall. Like, Google's not going to fall out of existence because of Amazon.
Yeah, for sure not.
Right? No. But Amazon's going to sort of enter the market or gain more market share in a way that's going to take it from being a duopoly, from being Google and Facebook being the ad spend kings, to making it a triopoly. Is that a word?
I mean, it sounds good when you say it.
It sounds good, right?
It sounds like a good word.
Well,
it
thank
should
you.
be.
Yeah, so you have, I think down the line, whether it's 2 months, 2 years, 2 millennium, 5 years, 10 years, you'll have Facebook, Amazon, and Google, but Amazon will be in the
Definitely.
3. Okay, well, thank you for that news update. That
Of
was
course.
awesome. All right, so let's get into an article or piece of content of the week. And I saw this really great piece. Well, you can read it, you can watch it. It's Marie Haynes, and she's speaking at an event that Andrew Optimizy was running. He hosts a whole line of speakers in, I think it's in Cambridge, in England.
Nice.
Yeah, he has some really great speakers come in. I'm definitely plugging him, even though he did not ask me to plug him, but no, it's
great
really good. Yeah,
advertisement for him.
it is.
Yeah.
He should pay us.
Yeah,
probably.
totally.
If you're listening, Andrew. So she had a really, really awesome piece of content, or she gave an awesome talk that was turned into a piece of content. If you remember back in August, I don't know how you can forget, there was a Medic update, the early August update that hit Your Money, Your Life sites. So one of the things that came out of there was about the Google search guidelines, the quality rater guidelines. And those were updated very close to the actual Google algorithm update. So authorship was added to the guidelines that these quality raters, when they go around looking at sites, are meant to look at who wrote the content and are they an expert in the field.
Right.
And it happens to be that a lot of the sites I looked at, and one of the posts that we did here, you can see that sites where medical sites where they don't have an actual author had a problem.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Okay. So let me preface this. This has been a bit of a controversy. Like, is Google able, and does Google look at authorship when it evaluates these sites?
Right.
So some heavy hitters in the industry, Mark Trappahagen wrote a whole piece on this. You should check that out. Think that, yeah, it does. And I definitely line up with that. The research I did and the post that we did over here at Rank Ranger, when we profiled these sites, it definitely seems like Google can algorithmically analyze authorship. And it seems like it is doing things of that nature. Google themselves, John Mueller, sort of pushed back on that a little bit, and there's been this sort of back and forth within the industry. Okay, so but Marie, assuming that Google does do this, which I think it does, Marie has a really, really nice point that I want to bring up here. And that's, let's just say you're running a health site. Okay, you're talking about diabetes. Okay, and I'm the author. Okay, I'll be the author on your site. Would you hire me to be the author, write content?
Yeah, of
really?
course I would. I mean,
wow, that's nice. Thank you. You sort of have to say that,
I'm
right?
getting paid to say that.
Right, that's right. And I have to write a piece about diabetes. Okay, and the whole website's about diabetes, but I'm not a doctor.
No, you are certainly not.
I am definitely not a doctor. I'm afraid of doctors, to be honest with you. I pass out the doctor. No, it's true. I do hit the floor.
I do not want to see that.
I should not admit that in public. So how do I come off as an expert if I indeed do not have any official credentials?
Right.
Okay, so Marie's point was, well, let's say you have personal experience with diabetes, and I personally, so I'm using the example. I do. My grandmother had diabetes. My uncle has diabetes. I have another uncle on the other side who has diabetes.
Oh wow.
So yeah, I have a lot of diabetes in my family. I should probably watch. I do. I try to watch that. Probably not as well as I should.
Yeah,
okay.
As you're putting the cookies in your
Yeah.
mouth.
Hey. My wife might be listening to this.
Your wife makes the cookies.
Oh, that's also a good point. So anyway, if I have personal experience with diabetes, so I know a lot about diabetes. I know a lot about how it impacts your life and your lifestyle and the negative effects that it can have. So I could write about diabetes if I wanted to. So her point was you should harp on that personal experience that you have in your author profile. So if I'm on this diabetes website and I'm writing for them and I'm going to write my author bio, my profile, I should talk up my personal experience with diabetes. So Google will look at this and say, hey, you know what? This dude does have experience with diabetes and is qualified to write about it. It's a good idea.
I think so.
It was very sharp. I mean, obviously, you shouldn't. If you don't have any personal experience, don't lie, because that's A, wrong, and B, you'll probably get figured out.
Yeah.
Right? But that's a nice little workaround to, because listen, not every website has an official content department that's going to have real medical staff on it, which, by the way, I have seen cases where if you do have it reviewed by a real medical professional, that does help.
Yeah, for sure. I personally think it's a great way for people who don't necessarily have the proper credentials, but have something they say or they want to say with substance to be able to have a voice.
Yeah, that's true too. Right? You shouldn't be right. You shouldn't be knocked out of the equation.
Have an opportunity too.
Yeah, because listen, there's more than one way to skin a cat, or more than one perspective that's valid. There's yes, of course, you're a doctor, but so listen, someone living with diabetes, I'm sure has a lot to offer about the equation about diabetes, right? So why should they be excluded if they're not a doctor, right? Yeah, awesome. Okay, so on to the next bit. So if you know anything about me, is that I have a lot of pet peeves. So now we're going to get into another one of Morty's SEO pet peeves. Okay, so obviously this is the first time we're speaking, and this is not another one of my pet peeves because you've never heard the first one. But those of you who I speak to every day, like Jacqueline, know that I have a lot of pet peeves. It's true. I'm that kind of guy. I don't really hide from it. I call it morbidly realistic pessimism. Emphasis on realistic. That's a quotable right there for you. Morbidly realistic pessimism. So yeah, I'm just a bundle of sarcastic joy. So let's go back to the August algorithm update. And over the past few weeks, few months, whatever it's been already, it's sort of, I can't keep track of time. I've been talking to a few people about their websites, or people come to me asking me about, oh, my website saw this and this and that. Can you help me out? And I try. So if you want to ask me for help, so just reach out to me. And I'll take a look at your website and offer you my best opinion that I possibly can, because I am a helpful guy, sarcastic as I am. Anyway, so a lot of these websites that I've had to take a look at have an issue with their UX, and the issue being it's not attractive, it's not friendly, it's out of date, and that definitely impacts how users can and do interact with your website, and that impacts rank. And the pet peeve is the overwhelming response I've gotten back to, hey, like your UX is not great, has been, you would think it would be, oh yeah, okay, let me head back to the design board and sort of hit the drawing board once again, right?
Definitely.
Right, but it's not. The overwhelming response I've gotten is, oh, okay, so let me optimize for this, and let me head into the HTML for this, and my backlinks, and all these technical SEO things. That was the immediate response. And no, you shouldn't do that. It's ridiculous. You should just fix the UX.
Completely.
Okay, this is part of a larger pet peeve that I have. It's sort of like a pet peeve within a pet peeve. It's like, you're watching TV, and on the TV they're watching TV. It's like TV and TV. So it's like a pet peeve and a pet peeve. The SEO industry, and I include myself in this, and I fall prey to the same peeve, so I'm criticizing myself, is that we automatically go technical, when sometimes you just need to critically think about the problem and understand the underlying premises, the issues, the theories, and the whatnot before just jumping into the optimization world. It's like a fire, like stop, drop, and roll. So here I'm telling you, stop, drop, and just think. Think what makes sense.
Right.
The automatic knee-jerk reaction doesn't have to be the some sort of technical workaround. Think, act. It's the common sense, right?
Yeah, you would think.
You would think, right? Okay. So all right, I'm done. Thank you for listening, hearing me out. I feel much better now. Come on, you don't agree?
No, I'm just watching.
Okay. So then why are you looking at me like that?
Just watching what you do best.
Come on, we've prepared for this. It's the amazing part is that we've prepared for this segment. And she's still looking at me like, what are you talking about? What's wrong with you? No, it's annoying. Come on. Like, people are coming to you.
Completely.
If you're going to come to me for help, then like listen to what I'm telling you, right?
No, it's basic.
Okay, fine.
Basic understanding.
Fair enough. All right. So now let's play a little game. It's a game I'm going to call Optimize or Disavow It.
Okay.
All right. So the idea is to invite someone from either our staff or outside our staff. That narrows down the possible people I can invite. That's everybody in the whole world. And present them with an SEO question that puts them between a rock and a hard place. Like, and the goal is to watch them squirm a little bit. I know that's a little sadistic. No. Okay, but the rules are simple. Okay. And what better way to start the podcast off by putting our own founder of Rank Ranger, Shai Harrell, in the hot seat. So the idea here is going to be pretty straightforward. Before we call Shai in, let me just explain this. You only have, let's say, budget, or you only have time for one really important SEO item. And our lucky guest will have to choose between which of these two items that I'm going to give them they will have to optimize for, and which one they're going to have to forget about. Which one they're going to optimize it, and which one they're just going to disavow. Is Shai ready?
I don't know. Let's go
get
him.
Let's go get him. All right. So is he ready?
Yeah, he's here.
He's here? Ready. He's ready? Oh, boy. You want to introduce him?
All right. I'd like to introduce to you the mastermind, the creator, the brains behind it all, and the founder of Rank Ranger, Shai Harrell.
Ooh, that's a nice intro. All right, let's get him in here. All right, welcome, man. How are you?
Good. Hi, Morty.
Hi. All right, so in case you don't know, Shai is a genius, like legit a genius, but he hates being called this kind of stuff. But deep down, he really likes it, which is why I brought him in here. Are you comfortable?
No, actually, I need to take a break now. I'm embarrassed. I'm embarrassed now.
Are you having fun?
Yeah.
Do you want this to be over?
All right.
No, we'll keep. All right. So okay. From now on, I'm just gonna keep asking you to come in and do this. So here's your first. We're calling it again: optimize it or disavow it. Right? You have two options I'm going to give you. You can only pick one of which to work on, and the other one you have to throw into the trash. Okay, so here's your question. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Which do you optimize and which do you disavow? Targeting featured snippets or creating catchy titles to gain clicks? You can only pick one. Okay, so which do you optimize for and which do you disavow?
Okay, that's an interesting one.
Thank you.
I would say... Yeah, obviously taking the second option.
Clicks?
Clicks.
Yeah?
Yeah, more clicks.
Oh,
much better because it's much easier, obviously, to just
that's a good point.
Get a feature snippet.
You seem confident in that. I thought you were going to have to squirm a little bit. This is not fun for me. Why? Okay, so it's easier, right?
Yeah.
Do you think it's more impactful to have better clicks than it is to get a feature snippet overall? I'm not talking about a particular website where like, okay, this is an obvious featured snippet content right here. Like, why wouldn't you go for? I mean, like all content being equal.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say so, especially because featured snippets are not as stable as we maybe generally think that they are.
That's true.
And their nature, they can switch like during the month. You can have different websites scoring for the same featured snippets. So
Study is pending, by the way. Study is
Yeah.
pending.
So yeah, I would pick the second option for sure now. After
Yeah?
thinking about it. Yeah.
I would tend to agree with you. I think that your first order of business is to cater to your user to make sure that you get clicks and that you get people coming to your site. And if you're able to get that feature snippet to just boost that, great. But the foundation of all foundations is to create content and to create titles that garner clicks.
Exactly.
Right. I mean, if you get into the feature snippet, that's great also.
Yeah. That's like a second
Bonus.
Yeah.
Right. So the moral of the story is, from getting from you,
Yeah.
foundationally, clicks, getting those catchy titles set up, or those good titles set up, is more of a foundational SEO issue than feature snippets. Like an after, a bonus, you mean?
Or just maybe be a better person.
Better.
That'd be
Okay. Well, we should all be better people.
Yeah.
Thank you. So I really do appreciate you coming in. I know you're really, really busy, all jokes aside, so thank you very much. And Jacqueline needs that raise.
We'll see about that.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You got it. Bye. So that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, definitely. That was definitely interesting.
That was definitely interesting. You have to realize he really does not like doing that kind of stuff. But that was great. That was personally satisfying for us, and he really is a genius. And we should definitely bring him back in and do that again.
For sure.
Okay, so before we send off, I just want to ask a fun sort of, cool kind of question out there and put it out there. If you want to reach out to us at Rank Ranger on Twitter, or if you want to reach out to myself on Twitter, it's Morty Oberstein. That's my handle. Or you can reach out to Jacqueline on Twitter.
On Jack Hark 18.
Okay. If you had to name your kid after an SEO term,
Oh, lovely.
which one would it be?
Okay.
Go.
Okay, me?
Yep,
All right.
go.
Being the fact that I guess have a 3-year-old toddler, I guess I'd have to say bounce rate.
Bounce rate.
Because let's be honest, it's impossible to keep a toddler in place longer than 5 minutes.
Ooh, I like that. That's creative.
Yeah,
That's good.
Woo,
Bounce
you.
rate. Nice. Okay.
And you?
It's definitely going to be redirect
Okay.
because I have 4 boys. I call them the fearsome foursome
Okay.
after the
that's good.
after the
That's a good
after the 70s Rams. For you sports fans out there.
Yeah, snooze fest over here.
Because I'm constantly redirecting them.
Oh,
Yeah.
I believe that.
Yep. So they're definitely
Good one.
definitely
That's a good
redirect.
one.
Yep. So if you want to share your answer with us, again, Rank Ranger on Twitter. Morty Oberstein is my handle, and
Jack Hark 18, check me out.
definitely share. And if you want to add one of your own questions, send us one of your questions, and we'll use it on the podcast. Before we end, I feel obliged. Our beta blitz is coming out soon, and we have to
Woohoo!
promote it.
Oh yeah, Beta Blitz is an all-new way to think about SEO reporting for an all-new era of SEO. Marketing talk aside, we've come up with a bunch of not only new reports, but new metrics to deal with the modern SEO problems so that the data is actually actionable.
Ooh, I like the actually actionable. Well, that's it for us. Until next time, thank you for joining us. We hope to see you soon. See you or be with you soon. I don't know how to put that. Anyway, be kind and rewind.
Thank you for tuning in.